Do the pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, call roll.
Ms. Clodfelter, Ms. Nyworth, Ms. Fabrega, Ms. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Rice,
Here.
Colonel P.
Okay, special guests and special recognitions.
Mr. Smith, would you like to introduce our special guest?
I have here Major Redfern and Sergeant Major Batts, along with some of our drill team members who are two-time state champions. Unfortunately, a lot of our kids work, have jobs, and couldn't come, but they're here in spirit. But we do have some of our members, and like I said, they are two-time state champions.
Mr. Redfern, would you like to celebrate and tell us exactly what all you did win? Because it's a pretty long list. It's nice to say you're a state champion, but
Wow. Let's see. The unarmed drill team, well, like I said, we are the first time overall armed forces Oklahoma JRTC drill and color guard state champions. So that's first time. And we repeated the overall Army state champion. So we're back-to-back Army state champions. And then overall, we are first time. And they beat out the 5-time reigning champions, which was Bixby until that Saturday. So
awesome.
But our unarmed team won first in the exhibition phase, first in regulation phase, and second in the inspection phase. The unarmed drill team commander, she was selected as the best overall commander 2 years running.
Yeah.
Over all of the branches. Our color guard, our unarmed color guard team placed second overall. Our armed drill team placed first in exhibition phase, second in second in regulation, and second in inspection. And let's see, I think. And yes, and so unarmed was the armed division champions overall. Armed were the armed division champions overall. And like I mentioned, the armed and unarmed commander, they were both selected as overall best commanders. So
No pressure on next year's team.
none whatsoever. None whatsoever.
How do you top this?
Well, yeah.
Nationals. They're
do it
already going-
again and nationals.
Awesome.
Because our military headquarters informed us that he called us on one day last week, and we informed them that what the teams had accomplished. And his response was, well, are you going to nationals, which is in Daytona Beach, Florida? And we mentioned to him that, well, that's pretty expensive. And his response was, well, I take care of everything.
Ooh.
But it's too late
Lance has
now.
a big smile now.
But he said, then he said, but it's too late now. So, but we didn't know. We had no idea that they would. And so I said, use everything. He said that they cover lodging, meals, transportation, 100%. But we didn't know because, I mean, we'd never been in this position before. So, but it's good to know for next year.
There we go.
So,
We're excited.
but yeah.
No
So the
late-
teams did outstanding. And again, none of this could have happened, of course, with my comrade here, Sergeant Major, goodness gracious, Command Sergeant Major Jesse J. Batts Jr. And so, so I'd like to give him as well as my cadets around the applause as well. So thank you.
We appreciate
Thank
you.
you guys.
You know, I'd like to say, because I'm retired from the military. I spent 24 years in the Army, and I think y'all are doing an outstanding job, and just keep up the good work. Keep up the good work.
One more thing.
Sure.
You can.
Because they won overall state champions. Right now, Sergeant Major and I are trying to figure out how we can go about getting them state championship rings. And we will be petitioning the community to assist in that because it's a huge expense. And but because we feel that they've earned it. But we don't have boosters, unlike a lot of the other athletic teams have. So I just wanted to mention that.
So donations go to?
MacArthur JROTC. And the right now what we have found out is that it will probably be upwards of about $11,000 for everybody.
Okay.
So just wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Okay, report of the superintendent.
Well, we get to start today, and not sure you guys want to sit through an audit, but you're welcome to.
Can you make it exciting?
Our school audit today is presented by Mary Johnson and Associates, PLLC. We're very excited to, well, maybe we are. Lance is not as excited as everybody else.
Good evening. It's that time. I'm just going to give you a quick summary of the 3 auditors' reports that are included in the document that you've been given a draft of. So there's a report on the financial statements. That is the work that we do over the financial reporting of the school district. For those of you that are familiar with audit reports, you may notice they look a little different this year. The opinions are now listed first instead of last. There's also a more detailed section in that first audit report about what management's responsibilities are and what our responsibilities as auditors are. Our biggest responsibility as an auditor is to be independent and ethical in our work with the district and how we present things. We have a certain level of communication that we're required to have with you as a board with the items that we find during the course of the audit. So you will find when we get to the last 2 reports that we have some things that we're communicating with you as a result of the audit. It's not a critique. It is a byproduct of the audit. So I kind of wanted to give you that heads up that you're going to see that. In the last 2 reports. The second report that we issue is called a report on government auditing standards. It relates to the internal control and compliance work that we do as part of the audit process. It's not to give you an opinion on your internal controls or on your compliance processes, but the goal is to identify any areas that we feel like are significant or material enough to communicate to you as a board versus just working with management to make corrections. So we did identify a few items related to the financial controls and compliance that we've reported to you. And you'll also see the responses of management in terms of how those particular items are going to be resolved. And again, that's a normal part of the audit process that we have, that we will communicate those items to you. One thing I didn't say on the first report, you will notice this year that we did a disclaimer over the inclusion of capital assets because your conversion of software caused some difficulties with having accurate information. So that was excluded this year just to facilitate completion of the audit, and they're working to get that up so that we can include that again as part of the audit opinions next year. As we move to that second report on internal control and compliance, again, there's a couple conditions that we reported related to that particular area on internal controls over processes of approvals on purchase orders and some of those items and what we suggested and recommended might be changed. The third report that we give you is related to your federal funds because you spent more than $750,000. The CARES Act money has been an ongoing struggle that's an understatement for so many districts in trying to not only identify what the program compliance requirements were. At times, you'll notice we had some this year we didn't even know when the money was received, that it was part of the ARPA money because it appeared to be something else. So that drove a couple of the findings that we had had some experience working with usaspending.gov to know that you had a direct aid. So when we went looking for it, that's how we found it. And it just had been misclassified as a different type of program. So that resulted in one of the findings. The rest of it was the difficulty in the following what ARPA required in terms of requirements. Any direct money you get from the feds is very difficult because it works outside of your normal processes. Your normal federal programs are very defined and they know what they're doing. This new stuff was very difficult to handle. And I'll say that Lance's staff did a great job in working with us, working through it, deciding, yes, we agree that we need to do something with that. And in most cases, the dollar amounts that we questioned are going to be refunded and respent. They're going to reallocate. So that's just, again, a normal part of the process. We wanted you to know that we had looked at those direct programs and what we had found and what was communicated with staff and also the State Department of Education, so that you would know that we feel like we've now got a good handle on the federal money that was received in FY22. And that is all I have to say.
Very big shout out to you and your staff because, I mean, again, some people don't consider auditors your friend.
That's true.
We really do because we want to get caught. And I know all through this, there was a couple in there. One was hope I get it right, that I know Lance worked, the Davis Beacon Act.
Yes.
We quickly changed
Yes.
directions because
Yes.
that wasn't really relayed to us. That
Yes.
You have to do this. They
Yes.
approved the funding. And then all of a sudden at the last minute and through consultations with you, we changed directions.
Yes.
And although we still had a little bit in there, Lance
Yes.
got most of it. It was not near what it was originally approved.
Right.
We moved it to another way. And as of last, which we won't be now that we're going to pay some of it back, but we'll get that claim quick. We're the only school district out there that they say has claimed all of their
your
money.
money,
And
yes.
that's, as you would know, looking into our accounts, and that's really big for us. that
It
we
is.
now have that money where hopefully
Yes.
next year we're not having this discussion.
Hopefully we've spent all of that and we won't go down this road anymore.
Yes. So, but no, I do appreciate you guys working with them and because it has been, I mean, there's always, when you have a budget this big, there's always going to be some
Yes.
fail-safes that we're trying to catch. And
Yes.
we want you helping us protect us from those. But I know in this ESSER money or ARPA.
It's been this was a
well,
difficult one.
And they've changed the rules, some of
And
it's
they did.
gone on
Yes.
the financial people, but you guys have been there and kept on
Yes.
top of it. And
Yes.
so thank you very much
You're
for what you
welcome.
guys have done with it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right.
Again, that's a presentation. It's not an action item. It's just you guys have to know you saw it and you're aware that they had those findings. So,
Okay, 5B, I guess.
5B, discussion with possible action regarding retention bonuses, new teacher bonuses, and classroom supplies allocation. We give every employee who comes back next year in August a $500 bonus. We've done that. The new teachers will be here July 31, August 1, August 2. For that 3 days, our first-year teachers going through that workshop get $500. And then the classroom supplies allocation is that $100 we give to each principal in their account for our teachers to have supplies to start the year. And we just wanted, with it getting close to the end of the year, we just wanted to reassure our teachers that we do have the money to cover that next year. We feel real good about the Christmas bonus. We'll do that at a later date, but we wanted to get this on the books and approved.
Move for approval.
Second.
Call roll.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Ms. Fabrega?
Yes.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Mr. Rice?
Yes.
5C,
Mr. Hunt,
yes.
I'm so pleased that we're paying that money and we're giving them something to use for things in their classroom. No one will ever know how much teachers spend out of their own pockets for classroom stuff. So I'm thrilled.
You know, as a former teacher, and I know our teachers go through it, and I still consider myself a teacher, but when you have kids at home, school starts, you're trying to buy stuff for your classroom, but just like every other parent out there, you got classroom supplies, school clothes, and hopefully this takes some of that burden. And a big shout out to you guys, because you guys step up and approve this, because it's
Great.
and on a sad note, 5C, Coco, our police officer dog, is needing to be retired. So we have to take action to relinquish all possession, responsibility, accountability, and ownership rights of K-9 Officer Coco to Miss Melody Tillman. So gracefully, she's going to take Coco, and she has been Coco's handler. So Coco will be in great hands. And as you know, there's a picture in my office shaking hands with Coco at the celebration, which is tomorrow night. So we do need action on that item.
I make a motion, we do that.
Call roll.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Ms. Fabrega?
Yes.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Mr. Rice?
Yes.
Yeah.
On the superintendent's announcements, again, tomorrow night is celebration. It's Teacher of the Year, Friends of Education, First Class Teacher of the Year. And for the first time, we're going to do an elementary Teacher of the Year and a secondary Teacher of the Year. So we're very excited about that. It's 6 o'clock tomorrow night at Eisenhower Middle School. Also, Thursday night is our military family event with Taylor Poindexter presenting on navigating mental health resources for military families at the Albert Johnson Senior Conference Center beginning at 5:30. The Freedom Eagles will be entertaining, and Lawton High will be providing music during the dinner, the orchestra. So that's an exciting deal for Thursday night.
Thursday.
Yes.
Any more now?
6 consent agenda.
Okay, anybody have anything to pull from the consent agenda?
Move for approval.
Second.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Ms. Fabrega? Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Mr. Rice?
Yes.
It'll be 11A. I do not need an executive.
We don't need an executive session, okay? We approved the superintendent's report, the personnel report. Have any
Move for approval.
call roll?
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Ms. Fabrega?
Yes.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Mr. Rice?
Yes. We have any new business?
I do not, except in celebration.
Okay, the next regular board meeting date is May the 15th. May the 15th, 2023 at 5:15 here at the Shoemaker. Do we need to set any new meeting dates? Okay, an announcement is everybody, all the board members know about the
Region meeting.
region meeting
27th.
next, not this Thursday, but next Thursday
Flower Mound.
at Flower Mound. And I believe that it starts.
5:30 is the pre, if you want to come, and 6:30 is the dinner and the,
What is the pre?
it's a workshop.
Okay. I can't remember.
We've invited the legislators, but you never know.
Yeah, they're going to be.
They're kind of busy right this week.
Anybody else have any more announcements?
I just want to thank everybody who participated in the Lawton Public Schools Foundation Golf Tournament. It was a lot of fun, and anyway, we raised a lot of money.
Yay.
And we had our robotics competition the other day. It was very awesome. If you haven't looked at that on
Friday.
It's on I think it's on our webpage. You can watch it. And so a big shout out to all those, because just seeing those kids being active in robotics and that STEM is really important to us, because we know that's where there's a lot of jobs there, and we really feel that's where the jobs are going. So encouraging our students to get involved in STEM is very
And the
important.
Win Kids today.
Yes. Yeah, if you haven't seen the Win Kids state champions, it's
They
really
really-
awesome.
It worked.
Yep, really awesome.
And they're headed to nationals.
Yes.
Anybody else have anything else? Okay, meeting is adjourned.